Hot summer's day, you don't know what to cook? I got you. We're making Lecso. It's a Hungarian vegetable stew, and it contains Hungarian paprikas. It's in season in July, and tomatoes. We need a bunch of Hungarian paprikas. We need tomatoes, and we need garlic, and we need onions. I got very excited at this store because I saw the Hungarian paprikas, which are not available all throughout the year. So I bought a whole bunch of them. And I bought a bit less tomatoes than paprikas. And then since I bought so many of those, I will be putting a shitload of onions and a shitload of garlic in it as well. Yes! You want to chop the onions into small pieces. Chop, chop, chop. Whew! It's not a problem if you put onions or garlic in it, because wherever you go, you need a mask anyway. Whew. I'm gonna put some oil. Put enough oil so that you can fry the onions a bit. And when the oil is warm enough, then we're going to dump the onions into it. And now for the garlic. Chop, 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 chop. We want the garlic very fine. Look, I'm not even looking. I'm not even looking. Look. Like a pro. It's like a pro. Like a pro. Like brrr, brrr. Now we put the onion into the hot pot. That's a shitload of onion. The peppers. We have to take the stems out, so we cut around the stems gently, twist it, and it's out. And then we're gonna have to cut it in half, then cut it one more time, and then I cut it into slices, approximately this size. After cooking the onions for a bit until they're sort of transparent, we want to put the finely chopped garlic into it. Make sure the garlic doesn't burn, because if the garlic burns, it's going to be very bitter. Honestly, the prep is the most irritating part of the whole process, because it takes so long. But usually what the best thing is that if you peel the onions, cut the garlic, prepare the peppers and the tomatoes before you start, because it's gonna save you a lot of time. I actually never do that. Aww. The tomatoes can also be cut into smaller pieces. You can take off the skin of the tomato, because they say that it's easier for the digestion if you take it off. Take it off and eat it! But joke aside, I like the skin. No, but all jokes aside though, it's better for the digestion if you don't eat it. Not for mine, but you know. I do, however, take out the middle. I don't know if it's scientifically proven, but the middle is just yuck. No one should have to deal with the middle of the tomatoes in their vegetable stew. No one. I find that if you cut everything so that they're fine, they're pretty small, the flavors just blend together better. And I do put everything in at once, so that's why I cut the tomatoes so fine. I don't like if my peppers get too soft. They should be soft because it's a vegetable stew, but I don't like it if it's like icky soft. It's not good if it's icky soft. Nobody wants it icky soft. I mean, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. We're talking about cooking right now. It's like, whoops the daisy. And we're going to put it onto, the onions. Always start with a bigger bowl because it's like spinach. By the time it's done, it'll be like quarter the size or half the size. I was talking about cooking again. It's only cooking. This is a cooking video, people. Focus. Okay? Stir it up. As you may know, I like cheating with this little fella. This is like salty spices altogether. You can also use salt and pepper. So with medium heat, it should be ready in, maybe let's check back in 30 minutes. I like it when the texture is a bit thicker sauce. The thicker the sauce is, the more flavor it will have. If you want to get fancy, by the way, then at the beginning, you can put some sausage, cut some sausage up into thin slices and put it in before the onion. And that way you can fry the sausage both sides to make it a bit crispy, and then put the onion and then everything else. And also what you can do is add a bit of hot pepper to it. It's preference how long you want to cook the peppers for, if you want them a bit more crunchy or not. But when they're done, you can also put them in jars and put them away for the winter. So if you cook some glass jars out that have lids and sterilize them, then you can put the Lecso, the stew, you can put it in the jars that are sterilized, put them completely to the top so that the jars are completely full without any air, and then put the top of the jar on it. And you need to put it in, like, put some towels or some blankets around it so that it keeps it warm for about 2-3 days. What I did was I just put some jars away, and then I did keep them in the fridge, but technically you don't have to. And then whenever I just didn't have time to cook, I would just take a jar out and have it for lunch. Before you eat it, when you heat it up, you can beat some eggs in it, like 1 or 2 eggs. Some people add some rice to it as well. But usually I just have it a la nature. That's what it looks like.